Hey folks, BrickSidious here, back with another Star Wars video. I won't be talking about LEGO today, but just giving a quick review of the recent Darth Maul Shadow Lord series from Disney+. And if you like this type of commentary, I can do more of these from previous Star Wars properties, because frankly I'm running out of Star Wars sets to show y'all. I got the Mandalorian UCS Starfighter recently, but so has everybody on YouTube, so I don't think I have any new insights to give. But anyway, yeah, regarding the Shadow Lord series, Darth Maul was a minor character in Episode 1, but I'm glad Filoni fleshed him out in the cartoon shows, Clone Wars and Rebels, and now he's starring in his own series. You know, they made the character very interesting, like a tortured soul, you know, of course, you know, power-hungry, vengeful, evil in some ways, but also sympathetic in other ways, noble in other ways. So, yeah, you know, a complex, conflicted character. And you end up rooting for him, maybe, you know, kind of like the anti-hero, or however, you know, people call that in stories. So definitely I'm a supportive of them making a standalone Darth Maul show. And it was kind of unclear to me, is this meant for kids like Clone Wars? I mean, I know Clone Wars had some serious themes and some strong violence and stuff and drama, but you know, this wasn't clear to me whether this was meant for, you know, adult fans or current young kids, or just trying to hit everybody. But so first of all, I'll give the pros. So I really liked most of the lightsaber battles, especially the last one, you know, in the last two episodes, you know, real tension there. I mean, the problem with prequels, like we know, is we already know who lives and who dies, right? So there is some kind of lack of tension there, because we know Maul is going to survive the series. He does other things in the show, and then eventually he gets killed by Obi-Wan, of course, in Rebels, and spoiler alert. But anyway, however, you know, the other characters, the Jedi in hiding, and the policeman and his son and stuff, you know, it wasn't clear if they were going to survive the series, so that was cool. And you know, the Inquisitors too, they're all the people in the lightsaber battle were very skilled, and you know, you could be dispatched with one strike of the blade at any moment. So that was cool. It didn't feel long. I know, you know, there probably some of you are hardcore prequel fans. Like, I didn't really enjoy them from a movie quality point of view, and I thought, you know, Duel of the Fates was an excellent lightsaber battle, but the other ones just dragged on too long, especially the last one with Anakin and Obi-Wan on Mustafar. I mean, it felt like 20 minutes. Maybe it actually was, and that's just, you know, that the tension's gone at that point. It's like a slog. But the lightsaber battle in this series felt great. The gunfights between the gangsters and the police, those felt tedious and boring to me. You know, they weren't adding anything new. You know, I don't know why Disney Star Wars has like changed the sound effects for a lot of common Star Wars things that we're used to from the original trilogy. Like the blaster sound is a lot quieter and you know, wimpier now. I hate it. And you know, that's on display here. Like the X-wing laser blasts are different sound under Disney too. All the sounds are worse, right? Even the lightsabers clashing and, you know, making the grinding or the like the thunder noises. Maybe it's my nostalgic memory, but it felt louder in the original trilogy, and that made it cooler and more serious, I think. Not like some video game joke where you know, some like somebody can survive a lightsaber right to the gut, like in the Ahsoka show, the Mandalorian girl. Oh, no, I'm forgetting her name. But anyway, yeah, that's been memed, and I think it's a valid criticism. So yeah, the sound effects have just gone to pot under Disney. And then also, I don't get why they're not reusing the classic John Williams score in moments. You know, like, well, so they ruined the intro with the Star Wars logo, you know, coming in, and they've like that the Disney one would just play the darn original theme. Like, it's a total winner. Everybody loves hearing it. Like when the words crawl, you know, at the beginning of the first 6 movies. And then they even changed the Star Wars logo to be like one row instead of 2, you know, like Star Wars stacked on each other, like the new Lego logo set. Just these changes are all bad and insulting, frankly, because they were great. The original versions were great. But so anyway, getting back to the Shadow Lord part is, they could have played Duel of the Fates at some moments, you know. Like I don't see a reason why you wouldn't. And everyone loves that. You know, it doesn't have to go on for minutes, but you know, things like that, and just, you know, more bass, more of the brass, and you know, kind of the trumpets and things from old Star Wars that people love. Like, yeah, just all of this is like a low budget Temu version of Star Wars to me. Sorry, of course, going on a rant. I was supposed to talk about the things I liked, and yeah, so the visual design, the art. You know, it has that Rebel style, but I think that the characters had more like surface texture. I mean, I know, of course, computer graphics and rendering technology and whatnot are better since Rebels now, but so I don't have too many complaints about the graphics. You know, the motion, how they captured the action scenes. Yeah, the gunships looked pretty good. You know, the vehicles, and of course the planet they chose, this fictitious planet Janix. One, it sounds too much like Ferrix, but anyway, you know, and it has the generic, you know, cyberpunk Blade Runner looking thing. You know, it could have passed for the poorer parts of Coruscant in some cases, but and then the jungle areas were, you know, not too memorable. So I think they could have been a little more creative with the setting. But and then also, like, I don't know if this was deliberate, but like the texture of Maul's face and his skin, it looked like kind of a, how do I put it, like an oil painting on canvas. You know what I mean? There was some, like, it wasn't a solid red, like it looked like a paintbrush like quickly went over the area and missed some spots. And like here in the video, you're seeing Clone Wars where that. Oh, actually, look at him now. Yeah, there's some streaks in his face too. So maybe that's just canon, and they accentuated it a little bit more in Shadow Lord. So I'm okay with that. I was just wondering, like, if that was deliberate or something. But yeah, he looked good. You know, the robotic legs and things, the lights. You know, his lightsaber and everything. Yeah, the visuals were nothing to complain about. But now going on to the core problem is, like, what was it, 10 episodes, and Disney's like, oh yeah, you know, you get 2 episodes a week, but not really. You know, it's like you got 2 20-minute episodes and you're losing some time with the recaps and stuff. So it's really, you're getting like 1 40-minute episode a week, which is like how it used to be. You know, this reminds me of like shrinkflation or something. So and then the whole storyline is, it's, you know, some people joke that, like, you know, some Netflix or Disney series are like one feature-length movie that they've broken out into to become a series to you know, string us, you know, to let us spend more time on the site and string us along. Here, this didn't even feel like a single movie. Like, imagine if the whole thing was stitched together into a Hollywood movie. It was like an act of a movie. You know, basically they established some of the characters barely. You have no backstory to, like, the lady Mandalorian and the other people of Maul's species that were excuse me, that were in his gang, and even, you know, the cop and Riley and stuff. So they could have added a good 20 minutes easy with some, like, flashbacks or backstory to some of these people. Even, yeah, the Inquisitors, like, I know they're the less you know about them, the more kind of scary and mysterious they are, but you know, they needed something. The whole series was basically a chase scene, right? An escape scene. Like, they, you know, there's a problem, it escalates, the Empire comes in and gives them a mortal danger, and then they have to get out and fight for to season 2. And of course, yeah, through this all, like, I was pretty sure that spoilers alert, of course, pretty sure that Devon's master, I forget his name now, you know, the iguana-looking guy, that he was going to die, right? So to let Maul have a entry point to become her new master. And of course, the pain of losing her Jedi master would feed her anger to make it more believable that she would consider the dark side. But yeah, you know, the cop, he had a lot of screen time, so probably they wouldn't kill him off in the first season. But yeah, a lot of Maul's gang, of course, yeah, got taken. Maybe all of Maul's gang got taken out, actually, and of course, you know, they needed to keep the little alien gangster guys, the comic relief, and there's the default droid, you know, 2 boots, that this 3PO wannabe that needs to stay also for the comic relief. But you know, through it all, it was just, some of the chases got repetitive, and they didn't add much. Like, ooh, you know, this is a cool set piece with some interesting stunts that they hadn't tried before. I mean, it's the same thing, like, you know, vehicles, gunships, troopers, you know, the Maul's henchman with the minigun, you know, laser, and it got a little tired. So that screen time, well, already it's a short series, but that screen time could have been allocated to character development, side quests, you know, other things that, like in a Clone Wars season, it feels like a season, right? I know production costs were a lot cheaper back then, and you know, there was more effort put into Disney Star Wars properties, but you know, you felt at there was an arc across the season. The characters evolved, and there were some consequential changes, and then there were some comic relief filler episodes, some side quests, you know, establishing some new characters. None of that here. So yeah, what are we going to wait like 2 more years for season 2 when like the momentum and interest is lower? I don't know. I mean, I'll still watch it, of course, because I'm a sucker. But I mean, like, it felt cheap by Disney. That's for sure. Yeah. Do I have anything more to add? Yeah. I mean, the selective application of the Force, that's always been a problem in all of Star Wars, right? It's like, you know these moments of, like, oh, somebody could have survived if they used the Force in a very straightforward way, but they didn't, or you could have killed this person easily if you used the Force like you did in a previous scene. And there's some of that too, like Maul struggling with his cybernetic bottom half. Like, can't he just force those legs into the right positions and not rely on the electronics and robotics? And of course, can't his enemies cripple his legs just like that as well? But you know, this is nitpicking. Yeah. Other than that, yeah. Of course, with Vader entering the show in the end, and some people are like, oh, why didn't he say anything? And, yeah, I think it's interesting that, of course, because like Darth Maul didn't say anything during the Duel of Fates, and the mystery and the dread, like he was scarier because you just didn't know anything about him and didn't know what to expect, and you're kind of seeing it from Maul's perspective too. Sorry that the video cut out here. Maybe it's my internet connection. Just, you know, I'm trying to give you some graphics for the show for my voiceover. But anyway, wrapping up here. from the perspective of Maul, like he's meeting Vader for the first time. He didn't know it was Anakin, the little boy that he met on Tatooine briefly. But so I think that's really cool that like Vader's like, what are you? Who is this like crazy freak with great skills who's trying to kill me? And I think you could kind of tell like Vader wasn't going all out, and he didn't ask his Inquisitors to like help corner Maul and take him out. Like I don't know what exactly his orders were from Palpatine. Of course they want Maul dead, but it seemed like Vader was kind of toying with him and sizing him up of like, and maybe a little jealousy or this guy. Assuming Palpatine told the backstories like, oh, this used to be Palpatine's apprentice. Like I'm like he's not as good as I am. But of course, Maul and Vader will meet again in a future season, and there may be some more conversation. But it would have been nice. Maybe Maul could have spoken a little more during the battle, like what are you, or like Palpatine's going to betray you like he did me, and this and that, or give Vader something to think about, and some some interesting Sith banter. So yeah, some missed opportunities here and there, but so overall, I'll give it a score here of like. I mean, the bar is so low for Disney Star Wars now. I mean, you remember like the problems with like Book of Boba Fett and excuse me, the Solo movie, and of course like episodes 8 and 9 were just abominable. There's plenty of content on YouTube about that already. I generally agree with the criticisms there, but that hurt me as a fan. Like going through watching episodes 8 and 9 was hurtful and insulting. So I don't want to reopen those old wounds if you feel the same way. Excuse me. But here, this show having some issues, and of course, with Acolyte 2, that one got panned a lot. I had high hopes for that as like our first look at the old Republic, whatever era it was, and it was just a total missed opportunity. So here with Maul Shadow Lord, I'll give it like 5 out of 10. Disney's done much worse, obviously. Maul as a character and Devin carried the show. But everything else was quite lacking, and especially that it's been a while since we got new Disney stuff. So I think the fans had high hopes. And they're like, how could you screw up a show about Darth Maul? But lastly, so I would recommend, if any of you have seen, Tales of the Jedi, Tales of the Sith, and Visions, Star Wars Visions, like from the anime directors and stuff, those are much better. I think, if you get this stuff out of the hands of Filoni and Kennedy and Favreau, like they did some good stuff like 10, 20 years ago, right? But now they're the problem of Star Wars. But let these Asian anime directors have at it, and try some other folks trying these like short form, I'd love for the stuff in Visions and Tales of to be longer series, because they had some interesting premises there. Good story, good characters, good character development, good voice acting. So just when you get these like marquee series of like Boba Fett, Ahsoka, Maul, I think there's just too many cooks in the kitchen. All the Lucasfilm royalty start meddling, and then they ruin it. So maybe these alternate smaller efforts or experimental stuff from Disney Star Wars is the best we're going to get. I hope I'm wrong. I don't have high hopes for Mandalorian movie either. Maybe I'll wait till it goes to Disney Plus, but for free. But anyway, so that's my rant / commentary and whatnot. Let me know in the comments if you agree, disagree, and may the Force be with you.